Ahsoka Episode 4 just dropped, and it has a number of fans who aren't as familiar with Rebels and Clone Wars asking some questions. So I'm going to break down everything that you need to know about the son, the daughter, the father, and if you stick all the way through to the end, I'm going to tie it back into how this relates to the Ahsoka show and how this could actually change everything. Hit that like button and let's jump right in. In the realm of Mortis, a cosmic family held sway, the father, the son, and the daughter. But their dynamic was anything but ordinary. The son, an embodiment of the dark side, his sister, a beacon of light, an embodiment of the light, both locked in a perpetual struggle. Their father, the linchpin between them, maintained a delicate equilibrium. And as age crept upon the father, he hatched a plan to lure the Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker to Mortis, hoping this chosen one would take his mantle. Yet, the son, resentful of his father's authority, yearned to escape for the vast galaxy beyond. But escaping Mortis wasn't a goal the father or the daughter shared. The son, seeing Skywalker as his ticket to freedom, sought to turn the young Jedi to the dark side. He manipulated Skywalker's apprentice, Ahsoka Tano, forcing a heart-wrenching showdown between master and pupil. At the same time, he clashed with his sister, his dark powers growing ever stronger. In a twist of fate, his quest for power led to an unintended tragedy, the demise of his sister as he attempted to end his father's life with the dreaded dagger of Mortis. But the son's schemes weren't over. He successfully revealed a grim destiny to Skywalker, his transformation into Darth Vader, the downfall of the Jedi, and the rise of Darth Sidious. Overwhelmed, Skywalker agreed to an unholy alliance with the son to change this dreadful fate and halt the Clone Wars.
I will do such terrible things.
Yes. But it doesn't have to be that way.
The father, however, intervened, erasing Skywalker's visions, and in a desperate move, he sacrificed himself with the dagger, rendering the son vulnerable. Skywalker's lightsaber ultimately silenced the son, restoring equilibrium to the realm of Mortis. So how does this connect back to Ahsoka? How is this related to the most recent episode, and what does this mean for us going forward? Well, there is a theory floating around that I think carries some weight to it, that when Ahsoka hears her master talking to her in the world between worlds, that it might not actually be Anakin. Now, there's a few different things that lead to this. One is you hear the Darth Vader music under the background. Some people have theorized about the lightsaber on Anakin's belt, whether it's Anakin's or Darth Vader's. I'm going to talk about that in another video. But for right now, we get this scene that we assume is Anakin, but we're not quite sure. What's going on? Is Anakin a Force ghost? He doesn't look like the other Force ghosts. Is this a vision of Ahsoka as she's fallen over the cliff and is drowning or maybe already dead in the water? Is this where dead Jedis go and how they can come back as Force ghosts in other ways? If that's the case, are we going to see other Jedi? Well, there's another possibility that this isn't Anakin and that it instead is a trick from the son of Mortis. Now, you might be wondering, in what I just shared, it sounded like the son had died, that Anakin killed the son, but in reality, I don't think when we look at the gods of Mortis, looking at the father, the son, and the daughter, I don't really think they were living beings to begin with, and instead an embodiment of the Force reaching out to Anakin to teach him something, to try and help him see something and learn something about the light side and the dark side. And in all of that, what ends up happening is this tragedy where Ahsoka actually dies. She gets killed and is brought back to life by being given the life essence of the the daughter. And so there are some that even believe that as the life essence of the daughter lives in Ahsoka, the Ahsoka can't even really truly die either. Then also add that at the beginning of the series, when Ahsoka's in the temple, it almost sounds like the sun whispering to her as she's twisting these stones to find the map. A lot of interesting things happening here, but also when we tie it back into the storyline, there was a scene when the son is going to deceive Anakin. He appears to Anakin as Anakin's mother, all in an attempt to try and win Anakin to his side. So we know that the son of Mortis can do something like this. And when we saw in Star Wars Rebels, when Ezra comes upon the temple and he finds the mural that is somehow still being interacted with, there's still this pull of the light and the dark, of the son and the daughter and the father, all still working in some way. So you might still be wondering, well, then what is the connection to this scene with Ahsoka and Anakin at the end of episode 4? Where is this? This appears to be in the world between worlds, and it's that entrance that Ezra finds to the world between worlds that is the mural of the Mortis gods, of the father, the son, and the daughter. How he interacts with, and you see the Loth wolves and the owl and all of the imagery that we've seen throughout Rebels that are starting to show up here in the Ahsoka show, start to make us think, well, what is the connection then between these Mortis gods and the world between worlds? Is this the place that maybe the son went to after Anakin killed him? And so instead of being Anakin here in the world between worlds, this is where the father and the son and the daughter still kind of reign, instead of on Mortis when they were in that embodiment phase, but now they're behind the scenes in this world between worlds. We don't know, but it makes me wonder, could the son be in the world between worlds and be the very one that now is messing with Ahsoka? And if that's the case, what's the end goal? Could this be a situation where the son is trying to get out of the world between worlds? And what kind of consequences could that have for the state of the Star Wars galaxy if that were the case? And would that be a situation that would concern Baylan and Shin to have to defeat the sun and maybe bring people together? Or could this be a threat to the galaxy that Thrawn would deal with? I'm not quite sure what could happen, but it's really interesting to think about. How would this maybe change the story? Well, this could mean that Force Ghost Anakin could show up in a vision or a dream or in some way to Ahsoka to counsel her and guide her through the world between worlds so that she's not confused and thrown off course by things that may appear to be real but are not truly. I know some have speculated that there's some kind of confrontation on Mustafar between Ahsoka and Vader. I'm not quite sure how that would work, but in this scenario, if this is the son, it'd be very interesting to have to try to work through that mess and that entanglement of trying to figure out what is real and what isn't real. It might be a little too trippy and definitely relies heavily on storylines that came before the show. So while I think it's probably unlikely, I love the idea of thinking about these types of things. Or is this all just a little too much and it is just Anakin and we're all overthinking? This is the beauty of Star Wars. We get to dive into theories like this and to think about it. Let me know what you think below. And if you want me to dive more into the gods of Mortis and run with this even further, let me know down in the comments below and I will do a video investigating all of that even further. But for now, that's what we have. Interested to see what you think. Remember, the Force will be with you always. And check out this video right here on my channel. I think you'll like it.